Efendim sırada Next'in premium mobil deneyimlerin AI ile nasıl ölçeklendiğine bakıyoruz. Eyes of Stone'un Instant Translation Tool'u ile yine aynı şekilde bu İngilizce gerçekleşecek konuşmayı da Türkçe olarak takip edebileceksiniz. Next'in Premium Mobile Experiences Meet AI, Accelerating Creative Impact at Scale, Digital Tribune'dan Brandon Agency Sales Director Will Dorling and EMEA and Latin Region Creative Director Egemen Kanmaz. Welcome to you, sir. Hoş geldiniz.
There you go. Can everybody hear okay? Hello. Brilliant. So, I'm Will. I'm really excited to be back with you. Last time I was here was December, so the hotel was looking very Christmassy. It still actually looks quite Christmassy in here, and you're really lucky to have me because yesterday was my wife's birthday, so my present to her was to leave her and come and join you all in Istanbul. So we'll get to celebrate the weekend, but I was going to try something and see if we could all do a little selfie video and wish her a happy birthday, which if you guys are quite up for that, we'll give it a go. If you're all silent, then we'll park it. What do we say? We give it a go? Yes, let's go. Right, okay. When I count 3, I want you guys to say happy birthday. And if you can remember, happy birthday, Katie. Let's go. See how this works. Right, video. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday, Katie! Yes, well done, guys. Awesome, thank you for indulging me with that. So, yeah, we're here to talk about AI. I'm joined on stage by Egemen, who's our creative lead. Sorry, we don't have Chris Hemsworth, so that was a hard one to follow. But we want to talk about AI, not because AI as a fad or a trend, and not because AI helps us do things more quickly, but about how AI can be used to make meaningful improvements in business for our clients and our users. So, without any further ado, let me skip over. So we've got Egemen, who's head of creative for EMEA and LATAM, and me, Will. So we don't need to sit here. But before we get into the AI part, it's really important to remind ourselves where Digital Turbine is currently, what we do, and why we're actually relevant in the mobile ecosystem. So for those of you who are here in December may remember, we are a mobile technology platform. We connect billions of mobile users with brands and app developers across 80,000 apps. So we're the technology layer that sits in the middle. And our key practice is to make meaningful mobile experiences. The scale that we offer isn't the most important part. The most important part is the ecosystem that sits behind it. And when we start to talk about AI and how it enables our business to develop, the ecosystem is the crucial piece because it's basically all the ingredients that you feed into the machine. So remember, the ecosystem's the key advantage. So I'm going to play this video. Okay, so sorry about the stock tunes. There's nothing we can do about that. The cool creatives that you saw at the end is what Egemen's going to talk about and how we actually do those things even better. But before we get on to that, I'll talk about ecosystem, and essentially this is the ecosystem. So on this side of our business, you've got the amazing OEMs and network operators that we work with, the handset manufacturers. Over on the other side of the screen, you've got all the awesome publishers that we work with. They're creating the environments that our users love to engage, come and spend their time. And in the middle sits Digital Turbine, helping deliver value for both sides of this ecosystem. What's crucial in the AI era is all of the data and insights that come in from both sides of this slide and basically feed our AI applications. We're a premium platform. We work directly with these businesses and app developers for a purpose, and that's to create a scaled, but also regulatory compliant and measurable business. So we work with leading third-party measurement companies. But quality needs measurement. So when we look at deliverables, when we talk about advertising and the meaningful experiences that we're delivering to our brands, what we're essentially saying is that ad needs to be viewable. To change someone's perception, it needs to be viewable. And then if you have that viewability, you've got to have attention. So an ad that can be seen that no one pays attention to is still a useless ad. And then when you have that attention, what are you going to show those individuals? And that's where Egemen and his team come into it. So on that, let's get into the AI piece. I'm going to speed through this because I'm looking at the clock and I'm a bit worried. Egemen's going to jump in later to talk about creative. But first, we know that AI isn't new. We've seen some awesome presentations today. I really like that Amazon one before and those examples of lost pets and that sort of thing, because that AI comes into all facets of our lives. Hands up if you have used an AI tool to change an image or create some content. Not more? Hands up if you use AI to plan a trip. Hands up if you've used AI to help you with a workout or a training plan. Yeah, so we know that AI is everywhere, and it's invading our business lives as well, so people use it obviously for creating decks and emails, etc. I think what's crucial here is, AI is helping us shift our businesses forward. It's helping us do things faster. A really interesting stat I saw recently was that recent app launches on the App Store are up 104% year on year, primarily because people that couldn't previously create apps can now create apps. You've got a great idea, but you can't code. You can still build an app. But the crucial part is that AI has to create value for your business and value for your consumers. So at Digital Turbine, we're using AI in multiple ways. We're using AI to help us build better targeted app lists. We're using AI to help us with optimization. We've got a recent partnership with Databricks. We're using it for campaign optimization and intelligence, and all of the creative lines across the bottom, Egemen's going to talk to you about in a second. Over to you, big man.
Thanks, Will. I was going to do my part in Turkish, but we have a nice flow in English, so I'll just keep it going. Before I jump into the creative part, I want to talk about how food is being made at a restaurant, which is metaphorically really similar to really similar to how we put out ad units and build brand campaigns, pretty much, because there's a lot of human resource going into a plate where there's building your flavor, building the presentation of it as well. So what we're doing in the creative front is pretty much the same, because creative is where AI is most visible from the kitchen view. So in the next slides. So I'm going to break this down into 4 parts and then give you an example on each part. So how we're leveraging AI in the kitchen is we're creating, let's talk about asset creation. If we don't have any assets, but we have a brief and we have some budget, we want to create something. Think of this as chopping onions and carrots in the kitchen. Now we don't need, you don't want to spend too much time working on that. So this is where AI comes in and helps us create assets, and then we can just focus on the design part, build it with the engineering power, and then scale it on the optimization level. So this is oh, it's not playing? Okay. So this is a really screen capture of how we're using AI from prompt to playable part. Simple Tetris game. A 10-second timer, which is, you can see it's creating all this code. And then you have a nice Tetris game at the end. Now, this video is 22 seconds or something, but it literally took me 3.5 minutes to come to this point. So once we have this laid out, as a starting point, we can then iterate on this one, just making it more enhanced, very brand specific as well. So this is a 20-second video, but in real, it's now 3 to 4 minutes. Now, these used to take us 5 to 10 days with engineering power, but now it's just really easy for us to use in the kitchen. And this is do you want to go over this one?
Yeah, I'll just jump in on the previous one as well, because I think what's important is we talk about AI helping us build better creative better. So that previous example was something that we could already build, but it took us quite a long time. This is a great example of something that realistically was buildable, but we could never do it within the budget or the time constraints that we would have on a client's brief. So this is a great example of a game that uses really complex physics engines. I don't know if we can play it, but we built a super cool pool game where the balls move in a very realistic fashion. Obviously, every cue angle changes the way the balls move. This would have required a hell of a lot of human input prior. Now the humans get to play about with how it looks, how it fits the client's brief, rather than physically how the game performs. But look how cool this is. As part of a mobile ad campaign, it's insane. And we couldn't have done this before. You would have need a hell of a lot more budget and time, whereas now it's in play. So this is building better creatives better.
And we needed about like 2 weeks to actually work on the engineering part of this with all the 3D view, the collision detection. When the ball hits the other ball, that ball is going to hit another ball. And that mechanic actually took us about 3 to 4 days just for that part. This
was actually mocked up for an actual snooker tournament campaign in the UK. So it's not just something we've made for this, it's a live working example.
And I'm going to show you a few examples, some of the examples that are actually live and running right now, and some have been live already. So the overall, like we want to do more interactive, more dynamic, more playful, and build it faster, which is enabling us right now. As I said, spending less time on the preparation and spending more time focusing on the design and the creative direction is actually a lot better, giving us a lot more playroom and also like enhanced levels so we can go on. So this example, it's a Tetris game as well. I'm showing you these retro games because so we all know how to play a Tetris game. You don't need the tutorial screen or anything.
Retro is cool as well. And Pokemon are cool.
So this is done for Lego Pokemon. I think this ran in UK as well.
I'm
not sure.
I think what's really interesting about these examples is, gamified formats often followed almost like a templated approach. So you could code a certain amount of gameplay, but you couldn't make that game infinitely playable, whereas these examples are infinitely playable. So they allow the player to play within an ad in the same way that they would play within a game. It feels much more natural to the player, so it has that better emotive impact with the player.
Yeah. And it used to also take us a lot of time to just switch that piece and like rotate it 90 degrees. It also used to take a lot of engineering power. But now we have I showed you the Tetris prototype before. Now we have that in 3 or 4 minutes. We can actually reiterate on the asset creation and the creative direction as well. This next one is also one of the retro games. It's a snake game, remember, from Nokia 3310s. I don't know if you want to go over this one as well.
Yeah, so listen, I've got a question for everyone. Who knows a bit about mobile gaming can tell me what came first, Tetris or Snake? Lots of snakes being shouted. I mean, it was actually Tetris. So Tetris was launched first on Ericsson phones. So although we all know and love Snake, and it's probably the OG mobile game, that's why it's still popular to brand. So again, a very simple but retro mobile game. Again, with infinite playable combinations here. So using AI to make a game that is better than what we could make just on people power alone is building a creative that can connect more with that player. So when we talk about more meaningful executions, this is a great example. Obviously, the Game Boy wrapper there is super cool.
Yeah. And this next one I want to go over quickly. This is a campaign that ran in UAE, which all of the assets were created from scratch. We didn't have any brief. We didn't have any assets pack or anything. We had a brief and we had a huge budget. So we came up with this. And they wanted the most complex level playable that they wanted to put out. We actually have 1 level here, but there's actually more extensive 3 levels into this gameplay. So this is a pimple cream. And it's a pimple cream for adolescents. And we wanted to turn this into like a RPG kind of a game where you find an item, and then you use that legendary item. I don't know if anyone plays Diablo, but like it's the same sort of a thing. And then you use that item on yourself, and it just removes all the pimples. There's actually 2 more levels to this. So everything you see here is actually created by Gemini Pro Cursor using various AI tools. And we just locked in the budget without any revisions whatsoever. So this was a very powerful unit that we came up with. And our designer is also here somewhere. Yeah, thanks.
0 stock, 0 legacy files, 0 time.
We're out, let's go. So just very quickly, let's wrap up. Thank you for the time. Look, I sort of said it a few times. The key piece for us is using AI to help us do business in a better way, whether that's optimizing, whether that's creating creatives. But on the end card and the creative side of things, build better ads better. So we're not trying to just do things quicker. We're not trying to do what we could do before. We're trying to add value to our business and to our clients' campaigns. Feel free to test out the pool game if you want. It links through off of the QR code here.
Yep. You can actually interact with the pool game too if you want.
And I'm conscious we have run over time. So thank you ever so much for your time. Lovely to be back in Istanbul.
Will Dorling, Egemen Kanmaz, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.